Good afternoon and Assalamualaikum. So today will be the sixth video discussion, and we're going to choose the best poem out of the 4 poems that we created. Everyone is present today. So yeah, let's start reciting all of the 4 poems first.
The first poem says, I am not determined by the color of my skin. Prick me, what do you see? Is it red, just like you? Look past the surface. We are the same, yet we live in a world where we are worlds apart. How do you expect us to feel when our skin color brings about discrimination? When we never asked to be born black, yellow, white, or orange? Do you hear us? Our voices asking our rights to be treated equally despite the color of our skin, black or white. This is for the humanity. Second poem, frankness. The defining screams were off to be here, just as the dreams. They were marked absurd. The world is cruel. Freedom has to be fought for. Burn your field to feel the sunlight gather. The third poem, a new epoch, the sinking world. Antarctic screams like a wounded child. Iceberg seems to be melt and sea levels begin to rise. But why do people sit still and not to be wise? Mother Nature cries over rising sea levels. Animal weep as water upsurges. Men, are they the root of evil? Need not we wait for future submerge? Soon we'll be standing on the tips of our feet. It is too late to admit defeat. For this destruction, we are to blame when the world ends up in flames. Mother Terra, the world is getting warmer, but humans are getting cold. The world is getting warmer, but nobody enjoys her warmth. Turn on the cooler even during winter, for Earth is getting warmer and nobody can save her.
Okay, so now we're going to start voicing out each of us opinions, and we'll give reasons why we think that poem is the one that we like the most, starting with Saliha.
Okay, so I think all of the poems are really good, but I think the best one is Fredness by Group 2. So the reason I like this poem is because the moment I read it, it's very compelling to me. So even though it's short and simple, but the volume, it speaks volumes. So, and I am also leaning towards this topic more compared to the environment topic, because I think that not to say that the environment topic is not important, but I think racial discrimination deserves more focus, because it involves humans, because it can inflict trauma towards humans. So I think we should focus more towards these types of things rather than global warming and such. So about the poem, I think it's very true. I mean, it's they talked about the reality of what's happening right now. So I think it spreads awareness. It's very effective in spreading awareness. So I also like the word choice used. So I like that they say the deafening screams. So that means screams that can be heard. And then just as the dreams they were marked absurd, I think that's really happening a lot because even though people are fighting for their rights, but some people still being ignorant about it. So I think it's really simple and short, but very effective in its way. So I think that's why Group Two did a really good job in creating this poem, and I think it's the best because it has a high effectiveness in talking about this topic. Yeah, that's all from me.
Okay. Next will be Adriana.
Okay, so in my opinion, I think my favorite poem would be A New Epoch, The Sinking World, because I am taking the animal science course. So I, as you know, probably can guess already, I really do care about the environment and like animals and what we put into our bodies and what we give back to the world. So I think this poem is very, it relates to what I stand for, which is like reducing pollution and global warming. And I don't think that it's something that we can do alone, but we have to do together. So this poem, it really sheds light on the troubles that we face, such as like the sea levels are rising and the icebergs are melting. I think we all know about this thing happening, and like sometimes we see polar bears, they look so skinny on the ice, and for me I think that's a very sad image to see. And uh, this poem captures that that thing happening. Yeah. Animals weep as water upsurges. You always see like, I think somewhere in the world there were spiders on a tree because it was flooding or something, and look really scary. But then again, like the flood, they have to go search for somewhere else, or else they're going to drown. Like I think we're all aware of the unfortunate thing that happened somewhere in Malaysia a few weeks ago, if not a month ago, because now is the rainy season, and it was flooded in a certain area, and it was like a shelter for dogs, and it's really sad that the dogs ended up drowning because they couldn't run away. So I feel like it's something that we have to prevent in a way. Like flash floods, maybe like it's going to happen, it's bound to happen, but we can reduce that by like not littering, not clogging up the drains. Uh, that is something that everybody should do. Yeah, so the last stanza, soon we'll be standing on the tips of our feet. Is it too late to admit defeat? For this destruction, we are to blame when the world ends up in flames. Uh, this one just strengthens the whole point of this poem, where it's our fault. So we should be the ones who fix it in a way. So this is why I choose this as my favorite poem from all of the four. They were all great, but I think I like this one the most. Okay.
Thank you, Adriana. Next is Aisa.
All right. So initially, I thought of choosing the first poem, which is I am not determined by the color of my skin. This is because I feel so close to it as I could relate to it. Like I mentioned during our second meeting, I had the experience of being called names during primary school. So I had somehow engraved a standard or belief that white skin is better and I should do something to suit myself in our society. But as I grow up, those things become no longer matter. I have other things to worry about. There are many other things to care about than how I look. And one of those things is worrying about what I could do to help make a better future for my generation, for our generation. Like maybe helping those in need to deliver their voices to the superiors, or maybe spreading donation links or educating our generation to take this matter seriously, to start making a progress towards our dream world. So I would like to quote the last two lines from the poem Frankness: burn no fuel to feel the sunlight glow. So I think for me, I would go with frankness because it is more relatable in my life now. I am no longer, it's like I'm no longer affected by people making comments of my skin or body. I feel a lot more free now from myself lah, at least. My point is, in our world now, I would want to focus on giving oppressed people their right to feel free, to the chance to feel like a human. Maybe my effort would have little impact on it, but the small progress is still progress, right? That's all from me.
Okay. For me, I think all of the poems, all 4 poems are amazing. They're very creative, but I have to say that the one that I like the most is Frankness too. Um, just because I think, personally, I think poems are meant to be artistic in a way, but it like delivers something that's important. If not important, like it delivers something at least. So I think Frankness did that. I like the style of the writing because the like the rhythm, and it's very real. And I like the title as well because if I'm not mistaken, that's what we felt when we were creating the poem, which is we were being frank, we were telling the truth about what was happening around the world regarding the discrimination issue. So I also like that it's simplistic, but it's very meaningful in a way. And yeah, I think it's, yeah, I just think it's really true what is in the poem, and it's not really um, implicit. It's it doesn't have like a hidden meaning or anything, so you can easily understand it, and you can easily interpret it into something that's actually the meaning. So yeah, I think Frankness is my favorite poem out of all the 4. Next is Ziwei.
In my opinion, the most I choose the most best poems is the Frankness. Frankness, this poem is about discrimination between the races in the world. And why I choose that is because that this discrimination issue has rises in Malaysia, like between the races like Chinese, Indians, and Malays, because of their skin color and maybe some some other issue of it. So that I think the best poems that can relate to ourselves, to myself, and in as a Malaysian is I will choose Frankness because of the discrimination issues around me in Malaysia. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Ziwei. The last one would be Zairatu.
Okay, among these amazing poems that we have wrote, my personal favorite is the first one, which is I am not determined by the color of my skin. I love the first stanza, which is prick me, what do you see? Is it red just like you? Look past the surface. We are the same, yet we live in a world where we are worlds apart. Um, I literally love the second first, the upper line, which is prick me, what do you see? Is it red just like you? It means that, like, prick me is like just like go get a needle and then prick ourselves, and what is it coming out? We all have the same color of the blood. right? So I don't know why we have to be separated by our skin color. Other than that, what else? Yeah, we can see this clearly at outside of Malaysia. You know, I grown up watching movies, like a lot of English movies, and some of it show that the fight between the white people and black people. So like I think that it's absurd and I can't find any logic behind it. Like, why do we have to be treated unfair because of the small thing, like the skin color, of course? And yeah, other than that, other than that, I I cannot accept that what else? People get killed because of the misunderstanding of their skin color. Because from white people perspective, the black people come out as a strong, like a strong person. Not strong, I mean like a tough person. You know, like a gangster, something like that. So even though they are not carrying any harmful thing like a gun or something, just because they are look like a gangster, so people be like, oh, he's carrying a gun, so you need to stay away. And I read it somewhere that people when black people like passing some, you know, in the crowded places, people tend to like what we call clutch their back closely because they feel threatened by their presence, you know. So I think that's sad. And I don't know, maybe if I experience the same thing, I might, you know, punch someone. Because why are you trading by my presence, you know? Because I'm not carrying anything harmful and I'm not going to steal anyone's bag, you know? Yeah, so I think that's just my opinion. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I think all of us appreciate each of us's opinions. But if we have to choose the best poem out of all four, we'd have to follow the majority voice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the best poem would be Frankness then. I think that'll be all for today. Yeah, so see you guys when I see you guys, I guess.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
guys.